Thank you.
Welcome to the virtual college fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenter at any time. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule and sign up for additional sessions. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at that same website where you registered. And now I'd like to turn it over to our presenter, Sam.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. And welcome everyone to the Ursinus College virtual presentation. I'm so glad that you're able to join us this afternoon. As Anna said, my name is Sam Carter, Associate Director of Admission at Ursinus. We're going to go ahead and get things started here this afternoon. So just some fast facts right off the top. Ursinus College is a small liberal arts school. We have about 1,500 students on campus. They're coming from 31 states, as well as DC, Puerto Rico, and 22 countries. We are ourselves located in Collegeville, Pennsylvania. And so we are about 40 minutes west of the city of Philadelphia. And so our students are able to really get that experience. They're able to go into the city just for fun on the weekends, for internships, whatever it might be. But then you're able to leave the city, come back to our much more kind of small residential campus, slow things down a little bit. So we believe that it really is the best of both worlds. As I'm sure you guessed, as we are part of this program, we are one of the 45 colleges that change lives. And CTCL as an organization is really dedicated to the advancement, to the support of what we like to refer to as a student-centered college search process. We believe very firmly that you need to put yourselves at the center of all of this. We believe strongly in finding that right fit for the student. And so just a little bit of background. CTCL was initially founded under the philosophy of building knowledge, building character, and building the values in those students by introducing them to both a personalized and a transformative collegiate experience. And we are incredibly proud to be a member of that CTCL organization. We're one of about 10% of schools nationwide that boast a chapter of Phi Beta Kappa. Phi Beta Kappa being that National Honor Society. Our students have gone on to garner Watson Fellowships, Fulbright Scholars, and even Rhodes Scholarships after they've left Ursinus. Academically, we have an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Our average class size is 15. We simply don't have those large lecture halls on campus. Our largest class on campus is about 40 students. That's going to be your intro to bio and intro to psychology, something like that. And then you're going to break out from that larger class into sort of smaller lab groups. Due to that small class size, we really emphasize faculty-student relationships. And that's something that all of our faculty, when I talk with them, when I have those conversations, they say that they're at a school like Ursinus because they want to be connecting with their students. I describe them as teachers first. They make sure that their classroom experience for their students is all set. You have their cell phone numbers, open door policies on office hours. They're having you over to their homes for dinner. Kind of all those cool stories that you hear and hope are happening are really happening on our campus. So there's teachers first, and then there's sort of academics second. And what I mean by that is then once they know that the students are all set, then they're doing their own research. They're getting published, doing kind of all those other things that go along with being a professor, but they're never doing so at the expense of their students or of their classroom experience. We have over 60 different courses of study. You can see some of them listed here. Reputation-wise, we are really well known for our science programs, but in our top 5, we also have applied economics, which is what we call our business program. It's really a hybrid degree between purely a theoretical economics program and those hard business skills. And you can see media and communication studies are also in our top 5. But over 60 different across the board in that true liberal arts model. All of our students will come in on paper undecided. We do that very intentionally so that you're able to keep a free and open mind as you go through our first year student experience that we'll talk about on the next slide. And then we also move all of our students into this cohort advising model. In that model, you're matched up with 8 to 10 other first year incoming students. You're required to meet as a group 1 time per week with your faculty member. And what that does is it gives you that dedicated check-in time with the faculty member to make sure that you are making that transition academically from high school into college, but then it also gives you that social network right from day one that is so important. And so you know people as you navigate our campus on the quad, in the dining hall, whatever it might be. You're able to have that fabric and that connected network right from day one on our campus with that cohort advising model. Within that first year, all of our students are going to go through our core curriculum. And so part of that core curriculum are kind of your standard requirements, natural science, 2 semesters of a foreign language, an arts requirement, and all that go along with it. Beyond that, we do have what we call the 4 questions. And students are really going to grapple with the 4 questions for the first time in what we call the Common Intellectual Experience. CIE is a 2-semester course that all first-year students take. And it really brings academic inquiry to bear on these central questions of a liberal education. What should matter to me? How should we live together? How can we understand the world? And what will I do? And we hope that your answers to these questions are vastly different at the end of your 4 years than they are when you first come onto our campus. So within that common intellectual experience, students are going to engage in a conversation about a common set of works drawn from diverse historical contexts, historical cultures, beliefs, and these are all selected to prompt thoughtful examination of those 4 questions. It's a reading intensive and writing intensive course. All of these classes are very much discussion based. And through this common intellectual experience, we're hoping to foster these essential liberal arts skills of critical reading, careful interpretation, effective discussion, clear writing, and the use of evidence to construct a compelling argument for all of our graduates, regardless of discipline. We also believe firmly that experiential learning is important. And so it's not just what you're doing in the classroom, but it's stepping outside of those walls and applying it to the world around you. So 100% of our students are going to complete an experiential learning project, or what we call an XLP. The most common way students will fulfill the XLP requirement is an internship. Those are available in Philadelphia. They're available closer to our campus, right in Collegeville and the surrounding areas. We can even connect you with internships back closer to home. If you're going home over the summer and you want an internship near where you grew up, we're able to do that through our career and postgraduate development office. They'll help you examine and identify internship opportunities. They'll walk you through application processes, resume building, mock interviews, all of that. They're entirely geared to help you succeed in that internship search and in that job search then once you're graduating and moving on from Ursinus. Research is really big on our campus. Since we're undergraduate only, all of our research opportunities are going to just those undergraduate students. We don't have any graduate students on campus to kind of move in and take up those research opportunities. You're working very closely with faculty members, and you can get started on that research as early as your first year on campus. A lot of students think, okay, I'm doing research, I must be majoring in the science. Absolutely not. There's not a major on our campus where students aren't able to do research as a part of their 4 years at Ursinus. And since you're doing that research, if your professor is publishing that, you're published right along with it as a research assistant. You have opportunities to present at regional and national conferences. And again, you can get that started as soon as your first year on campus. The third most common way students will fulfill the XLP is through study abroad. I love study abroad. I'm a huge proponent. About 1/3 of our students are going to go abroad, typically during the junior year for that full semester. You'll go in to our study abroad office and they'll work with you. They'll help identify your academic goals, your geographic goals. They'll walk you through any visa applications, passport applications, everything that goes along with that process. Any program we're matching you up with, we guarantee that you're going to be able to bring all those credits back. And so you're not going to be set back in any way from your 4-year graduation pace with Ursinus. And lastly, one thing I love about our study abroad program is that it's going to cost you the same to go abroad as it would for you to be on campus. So any financial aid, any scholarships, all of that is still going to be in full force. We would never want finances to be a reason why a student was not able to pursue that study abroad opportunity. If for whatever reason, those 3 experiences aren't speaking to you, that's totally fine. You can complete the XLP through doing a creative project, through doing civic engagement, or student teaching as well. So that's a little bit about the academic opportunities on our campus. Transitioning now to more of a campus life perspective. We guarantee housing all 4 years, and we do have a housing requirement. We believe firmly that ours is a 4-year residential experience. We have over 100 different clubs and organizations on campus. You name it, we pretty much have it already. But because we are small, you're able to just pair up with a group of your friends, become a club, get a faculty advisor, and you're immediately eligible for funding at that point. In terms of residency options on our campus, they vary. So we house all of our first year students together in our first year residence halls. We do that very intentionally to build camaraderie amongst the cohort of those first year incoming students. Once you've graduated, or once you've moved on from that first year, we do have suite style housing available. We have a row of townhouses that we own right across the street from campus for more of a communal living situation. And some of those are broken down by special interests. We call those SPINT houses, special interest houses. And so you might be able to live together with a group of like-minded individuals who are focused on environmental issues. Maybe you want to live with other artists, other performing artists, music appreciate, whatever it might be, you're able to do that. And those SPINT houses are constantly rotating. And so if you and a group of friends want to petition to have a SPINT house one year, you are able to do that. We highlight 3 of our interdisciplinary centers here on this slide as well. The Parley Center for Science and the Common Good, which is where students who are focused on science are able to come together with other like-minded individuals who are also interested in how that science and how that research impacts the world around them. The Imagine Center for Integrative and Entrepreneurial Studies takes students from any background and teaches them to look at the world, approach problems through an entrepreneurial lens. Finally, the Melrose Center for Global Civic Engagement is great for students who are interested in social justice and for making tangible impacts on the world around them. So those are some sort of formal ways that students are able to take what they're learning in the classroom and apply it outside of the classroom to the world around them. For athletics, we're Division III. We compete in the Centennial Conference. About 37% of our students are varsity athletes across 25 different varsity sports. We also have about a third of our campus doing club or intramural sports. So if you're interested in athletics, if you're looking to stay active, you are definitely able to do that on our campus. By no means you need to be an athlete on our campus to feel like you fit in, but we do have a great sense of school spirit. I think because we are so small, you know the athletes, they're your friends, they're your roommates, they're in your classes, and our students are really able to turn out on the weekends during the week and support their friends in their athletic endeavors. So a lot of what you're doing is going to be central to our campus, but we also have some great opportunities immediately surrounding Ursinus that our students are able to take advantage of. The Providence Town Center is about 5 minutes off of main campus, and that's where students are able to go and do a little bit of shopping. There's some great restaurants, there's a movie theater, and that's kind of the closest area that students are able to go and just get away from campus for a little bit and just get a new perspective. King of Prussia is about 15 minutes away. It's home to the second largest mall in the country, and so students are able to really go there and get some serious shopping done at the King of Prussia Mall. I mentioned Philadelphia being about 40 minutes away from us. It's fantastic on the weekends during the week for internships, or if you just want to get away, catch a game, go to a museum. It's a massive hub of culture. It's a fantastic restaurant scene, and so Philadelphia is definitely an attraction for our students. If anyone in the audience is a little bit more outdoorsy, we have the Perkiomen Trail. It runs right by our campus, and that's great for hiking or for biking, connects to the Schuylkill River Trail. And so via the Perkiomen Trail to the SRT, students are actually able to bike all the way into Philadelphia directly from our campus. So that's a great opportunity for students to just get out, stretch their legs a little bit, and get into nature right adjacent to our campus. Here we have a list of top 10 Ursinus must-dos. There are certainly many more than this, but one that I really love and that I like to highlight is the Berman Museum of Art. It's a fully functioning art museum right on our campus. It is free for students, and so we will have a rotating series of professional art exhibits, but it's also a great way that students are able to do some of their own art, get that featured in a fully functioning art museum. And there's also Bear Bash, which is a large event every year that we have a large scale concert. There's food trucks, there's a series of programming. That's definitely a weekend that students are looking forward to all throughout the week. One other unique opportunity that Ursinus boasts is what we call the Philadelphia Experience. We call it Philly X. And Philly X functions like an abroad semester. You're gonna live in the city of Philadelphia for that entire semester. You're gonna live on Drexel's campus. You're gonna do a full-time internship. You can take classes part-time, either through Drexel or also taught by Ursinus faculty who are going to travel into the city. And so for Philly X, we send about 20 students each year. It's a great opportunity for students to do that full-time internship, get that resume building experience, You're taking classes part-time, so you're still on track for that 4-year graduation. But you're able to see what life might be like living in a city. So this is especially popular for students who are considering after graduation, maybe moving to Philadelphia, New York, Washington, D.C., something like that. They're able to get that real world tangible experience and see what that might be like for them. And so all of these things work in concert with one another to produce some fantastic outcomes for our students. We have a 94% placement rate within 6 months of graduation for our graduates. And so what that does is that factors in students who are doing full-time employment, doing a full-time graduate program, or maybe pursuing a year of service as well. Those are factored into that. We have a 76% 4-year graduation rate, and that compares very favorably with the national average, which is closer to 53%. We're a top 100 national liberal arts college as ranked by US News and World Reports. We have over 20,000 full-time jobs and internships available through Handshake, which is our on-campus software for our students. And so we believe firmly that some of the things that make us unique contribute to these fantastic outcomes for our students. So we're one of the CTCL schools. We have a number of specialty scholarships that we're going to talk about in a couple of slides. Common intellectual experience combined with Ursinus Quest, and then the consistent resume building of the XLP requirement, all combined to make Ursinus College a unique offering for our students as they come in. Okay, so how do I take advantage of all of this wonderful programming? That sounds great, but I'm interested in maybe becoming a student. The first step is going to be to submit your application. The application is open right now. It is free. We do not have any type of application fee, and you can apply via the Common or Coalition application. We have a few different application deadlines. Each one is going to be right for a certain student. And so for early action, that is our most popular way that students are going to apply. I think early action is a great choice for students who feel that right now on paper, who I am as a student is presenting very well. My transcript is together, my activities are together. I had consistent performance through those kind of first 3 years of high school. Early action is going to be a great opportunity for that student. Early action is non-binding. You get your decision from us in mid-December, and then you obviously have until the spring to make that choice. So I think it's great for students who feel good about what they're putting down on their application. They want to get it off their plate. They want their admission decision back sooner. They're able to move forward at that point earlier in the process. Early decision is binding. Early decision is a great choice for students who think, okay, Ursinus is my #1 choice. I know that if admitted, I will be going to Ursinus. Early decision is the choice for you. And then regular decision, I think, is good for students who maybe struggled a little bit in 9th grade. They were able to turn things around in 10th grade and 11th grade. And they want that senior fall factored into that decision process for them to kind of show, okay, cement that progress. I made that turnaround, and here I am in my senior year, continuing with that turnaround. Regular decision is a great choice for those students. And then we do review transfer applications on a rolling basis. And so if there are any transfer students in the audience, I invite you to submit that application to us as well. So once you've submitted the Common App, we're also going to require your transcript. We do look at the average GPA of our students as being a 3.45. And we'll assign you a strength of curriculum score as well. That strength of curriculum score is going to factor in the types of courses you're taking. So if you're taking a lot of honors, a lot of AP courses, that's going to factor in for a nice high strength of curriculum score on a scale of 1 to 5. Students who are taking purely a CP, a college prep curriculum, you will have that SOC of a 1. That's totally fine. CP, college prep, prepares you for college, and then it scales up from there for those students taking honors, dual enrollments, APs, and things like that. We do like to see a letter of recommendation. We require one from your counselor, but if you want to submit from a teacher, a mentor, someone like that, or submit more than one, we will absolutely look at those and take those into account. And then we also look at the personal essay. The essay is a great opportunity for students to kind of add that 3-dimensional element to their application. They're able to kind of come off the page and speak directly to the admission committee. I always tell students to make your essay about something that I'm not getting somewhere else on your application. If you're really involved in athletics, that's great. I get that in your activities. Go somewhere else with your personal essay. If I see that you are extremely focused in the performing arts, you're incredibly involved in music, I see that in your activities, use that personal essay to tell me something else about you, or use it to tell me something about your involvement in music, about your involvement in performing arts. that I'm not able to see in those activities. So just a couple of tips on the personal essay that you might put in your Common App. Transfer application requirements are pretty similar. We're still requiring that personal essay. We need that high school transcript. We do, though, need also a college transcript. So you want to see the grades, obviously, that you got at your institution, because you might be able to bring some of those in for credit with us through our credit evaluation. We'll need your student conduct verification form as a part of that application. And then we'll also need course descriptions for any of those courses that you took at your college or university as you come in. So those are the required application components. We do have a number of optional application additions as well. So I know this is big this year. First and foremost, we are test optional. You do not need to submit your test scores when you apply to Ursinus, but we are not test blind. And so what that means is if you are submitting scores, we will take a look at them. We will factor them into our review process. And so I always tell students, look at our averages. You can see our average SAT right here at a 1230. Average ACT of a 27, and we will super score. This year, I know it's very hard to be taking multiple tests. And so if you don't have test scores, that's completely fine. If you have test scores that are significantly below our average, I always tell students just simply don't submit those. You do not need test scores to be eligible for any of the scholarships that we're going to talk about in a couple of slides. And so only be sending us those test scores if that optional addition is going to strengthen your application to Ursinus. Then we just have a short why Ursinus supplemental essay. That's where you can kind of tell us, okay, this is what I love about Ursinus. I've done my research. I know what's going on. And this is why I think that Ursinus is a great fit for me, and I, in turn, for you all. And then lastly, we do offer interviews. They are not required, but they are encouraged. It's a great way for you to demonstrate a little bit of interest. We are taking demonstrated interest into account throughout this process. But I always tell students it's a great way for you to get more information about us as well. You should be using these interviews not only to answer our questions, but also to ask some questions of your own and really figure out, okay, is this something, is this a place, is this a college or community that I can call home for the next 4 years? Because ultimately, what we are trying to get out of our application process is figuring out who you are. Who are you in your own community right now, and who are you going to be on our campus? Who are you going to be as a member of our community? Just as you should be trying to figure out, okay, this is who I am, but who are you? Who are we as the college? Who are we as the university? And is this going to be a good fit for me? And that's really what we're talking about when we talk about that student-centered college search process. So congratulations, you've submitted your application. You've gotten your acceptance letter in the mail. That's great. And so now it comes to kind of that next part of the equation, that next step in the process, and that's the financial part. And so for us, we truly believe that a private education is possible. 99% of our students are going to receive some form of financial assistance. And this comes in a few different ways. The first being need-based aid. So I tell every single student who applies to Ursinus, make sure you submit that FAFSA. The FAFSA becomes available on October 1st. FAFSA is entirely free. So if you're on any website, if you're anywhere, they're asking you to pay for the FAFSA, go somewhere else, because that is not a legitimate website. The FAFSA is entirely free. There's no reason why you should not be submitting it to be eligible for need-based aid with us. Some schools will require something called a CSS profile. We do not require the CSS profile. We are FAFSA only. So that's need-based aid. Your need-based aid will be entirely calculated based off of your estimated family contribution as determined in that FAFSA. We then come to the second part of the equation, which are our merit scholarships. You do not need to apply for any of these merit scholarships. You are automatically considered for each and every one when you submit your application to Ursinus. They range from $21,000 up to $40,000. So I'll highlight a couple of them here. Zacharias Honor Scholarship is our largest scholarship. That's usually reserved for about the top 5% of the incoming class. That is $40,000, and all of these are per year. So assuming you maintain the GPA necessary, with the Zacharias Honor Scholarship, that's going to be $40,000 all 4 years of your time with us. So that's $160,000 total. The Gateway Scholarship is for students who, a couple of different ways, who have a 3.85 GPA on their transcript or above. You automatically qualify for that Gateway Scholarship. If you have a 3.5 or above, but you're in a rigorous curriculum, you're taking a lot of honors, you're taking a lot of APs, you too will automatically qualify for that Gateway Scholarship. So that's how you can do it with the GPA. And then you don't need test scores, but if you are submitting test scores and you have a 1250 SAT or above, or a 28 ACT or above, you are automatically going to qualify for the Gateway Scholarship as well. And so you don't need all three of these. It's any one. It's that 3.85 GPA or above, 3.5 or above in a rigorous curriculum, 1250 SAT, or a 28 ACT. You know coming in, okay, my floor for merit aid with Ursinus is going to be this $35,000 per year through the Gateway Scholarship. The Reverend Rice Memorial Scholarship is for students who have meaningfully impacted issues of diversity in their schools and their communities. We're hoping they bring that involvement, that passion with them, and bring that same level of impact to us on our campus. And so we're constantly looking at students' essays, their activities, and kind of saying, okay, is this a student who's meaningfully impacted issues of diversity in their own community? That's great. That's going to be a fantastic Reverend Rice Memorial Scholar. And then the Ursinus Scholarship, it's kind of what we call the remainder of our scholarships. They range from $21,000 up to $30,000. For transfer students, we do have a Phi Theta Kappa PTK scholarship, which is $30,000 per year for students who are members of that organization. So we have need-based aid, we have merit scholarships, and then the third part of that equation are our specialty scholarships. What these do is allow students to submit additional applications for scholarships in which they might have an interest in the subject matter. So you can see several of them here. They're all available at ursinus.edu/opportunity. These do require outside applications. So I tell students, okay, you submitted your Common App to Ursinus. The next step for you is going to be to submit application for up to 2 of these. You can apply for a maximum of 2 of our specialty scholarships. But you can see they're broken down by interest. And so a couple of the larger ones, $40,000 per year, those will replace your merit scholarship simply because they are so large. So if you're in the audience and you're interested in creative writing, if you're interested in dance, music, or theater, I strongly encourage you to apply for some of these. The other smaller ones you see here, though, are what we call stackable. And that means that they will stack on top of your merit scholarship. And so if you're coming in, if you are a Gateway Scholar, you're getting that $35,000 per year, but you're also incredibly interested in social justice, and you want to apply for that social justice scholars, you're able to get that. That $35,000 will be combined with that $8,000, and you'll be getting $43,000 per year from us in scholarship aid. So definitely go online, look into all of these, find 2 that speak to you, and then submit your application for those. The Parley Fellows are for students who are interested, again, in that Parley Center for Science and the Common Good. You know you like science, but you also are interested in society and how we can use our science to better the world around us. Smith Quest is for students who are interested in spiritual life and are looking to continue that pursuit during their time with us on our campus. So definitely go online, check out these, and again, you can apply for a maximum of 2 only after you've submitted your application to the college. All right, so what's next? Other ways to get involved with us. Again, I encourage you to submit your application via the Common or Coalition application. Transfers can also apply as well. We have a series of Experience Ursinus days. They'll start in August. They're ongoing throughout the rest of the fall into October. And we also have Fall Open House, which is our big event each year, which is on October 24th. It is entirely virtual, so definitely register for that on our website. We are also offering a series of academic exploration days where you're able to look into a specific major or discipline. And you're able to talk with current students about that. Faculty will be doing presentations. It's a great way for you to get more in-depth information about that. We do virtual information sessions, interviews. We have Fellow Fridays where you're able to connect with some of our senior fellows who work in our office and get that one-on-one interaction with current students on our campus. And then I always encourage students to be reaching out to their admission counselor. They're right on our website, and you can find those broken down based on geography. So you can go online, put in your area, and find your dedicated admission counselor, the individual who's going to be reading your application and make that connection with them. And again, we love demonstrated interest. So any of these ways that you're able to engage with us are all a fantastic demonstration of interest on the part of the student. All right, so at this point, I'm gonna open it up for questions. Feel free to throw any questions that you may have into the question and answer box located right down at the bottom of your screen. I see we already had some coming in. Okay, so I've got a question around athletics, regarding athletic recruitment. So we are Division III. And so what we do is we will connect with students, but we do not have any scholarships around Division III. So some of the coaches may be reaching out to you. That's great. They're letting you know that they're interested. They've looked at you, they've seen your tape, and they think that you'd be a strong addition to our team. So that is certainly not an official offer, but what it is it's an extension of a hand, opening up that conversation, encouraging you to apply and kind of take that next step in the process. Definitely feel free to keep that dialogue going with the coaches. If you're interested in athletics and they're reaching out to you, respond to them, keep that conversation going, and they'll be able to direct you in whatever direction of that conversation they want to keep going. All right, I see another question here around the common intellectual experience. So that is something that is unique to Ursinus. I don't know of any other schools that are having a common intellectual experience. That is a common core for our students. And so what you have is the exact same syllabus taught by multiple faculty across the board. And so you know in that way that you're bound by that common language. At Ursinus, upper level faculty will be able to sort of reference that. And they'll know, okay, in this upper level course, I'm able to look back and reference texts that I know that you took in that freshman year because all of our students took that same course. It's reading and writing intensive, it's discussion based, and it's really designed to get our students functioning on the level necessary, transitioning from high school into what's expected of them in that Ursinus classroom. All right, I have a question about study abroad. What types of options are available for students and what does that process look like? So a couple of different options. The most popular option is that standard semester-long program in the junior year, but we also have shorter opportunities available over some small like winter breaks, and then we have some summer opportunities available as well. So those are kind of the different ways that students can go abroad. You're going to work with the study abroad office. First and foremost, students are going to identify a country and an academic program that they want to apply to. The study abroad office will work with you every step of the way. They'll walk you through that application process. Once accepted, they'll help you with all of the visas that might be necessary, the passports that might be necessary, and they're also keeping in mind your academic goals. So any program that we're matching you up with, we're going to make sure that all of those credits are going to come back with us, and you will be able to then still graduate on time, even if you do want to be going abroad through that. Financing it, again, is going to be the same as though you were on campus. You're still paying Ursinus whatever you would have for a normal semester, financial aid, need-based aid, merit scholarships, specialty scholarships, all of that are still going to be in full force. And then you're able to just focus on that study abroad opportunity without having to be weighed down by finances as a product of that. All right, I've got a question regarding SATs. So still trying to take the SAT, absolutely, we understand that. It's definitely a difficult year for that. We are able to accept test scores for tests taken prior to the application deadline. So whichever round you're applying in, if you're early action, that deadline is November 1st. If you're regular decision, that deadline is February 1st. So we're able to take test scores for any tests that were taken prior to that application deadline. All right, so I'm not seeing any other questions come in. That's totally fine. Please, again, if you go on our website, you can find your admission counselor. You're able to ask them questions directly there. Oh, I see another question actually has come in. Oh, a fantastic question. Are students able to declare a major or minor that the school doesn't have? Yes, absolutely. So we have over 60 different courses of study. But there is also an opportunity to sort of craft your own major. And you're able to pull from different departments on campus. I see that this student is specifically asking about foreign languages. So you could pull from different foreign languages that we have on campus. We do have a modern languages department, but we've had students before develop majors in speech pathology, where they're pulling from different areas of study on campus, be able to sort of craft your own major that way. You're working in very close concert with your faculty advisor, with the dean's office, and you are able to build your own major on our campus. All right, well, hey, everyone, thanks so much for taking the time to connect this afternoon. Don't hesitate to go on our website, find your admission counselor, connect with them on any questions you may have. But the next step for you all here is definitely going to be to submit that application through the Common or Coalition application. And again, if you need any help with that, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us in the Office of Admission at Ursinus. So thank you so much for being a part of our program this afternoon. And as always, go Bears.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other sessions recordings online. Thank you all. Bye now.